Okay, so you just went in Tri-Cities, you come out to Seattle, and I think you came in like second or third. You were at the top.
We usually ran good second and third.
Yeah, that's what Tom said too.
Yeah.
And then you have the test. The test in September. You had just replaced sponsons that year. Got rid of the Nolan sponsons, went with the Jones. Boat's running faster, better than it ever had. Got it pretty much right at the peak it could go, and then the crash. Talk about that day.
Well, it was a good day out there. These boats were all lined up, and the weather was pretty good out there. There was a speedboat of somebody's that was out there. I found out later who it was, and he was out there to spy on our camp.
That's funny.
But yeah, I love him. He was great young man. That's the Bardall, Larry Bardall. That was Larry Oberto was out there.
Who filmed the crash?
And he filmed it. He wasn't ready for what the excitement was going to bring on his camera, but he filmed it. But anyway, we went around different times, and they were testing it and lifts and things of that sort. And all at once he came around. I go, and we had our yacht out there, and I said, I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like the lifting I'm seeing out of there that they're doing. And we were about the center of the course. And he came around, and boy, all at once, he went up, right in the area there. And that baby didn't come down. It came, at least, I've watched boats go over, and at least it was going up. I said, he's going to make it all the way over and not come down on himself.
Right.
And so it did. But boy, when it came down, and that's why pictures I've got upstairs even, it was twisted. And that's why, as rebuilding that boat now, I brought it to the guys doing that is beef up the center of that boat because it was.
And they did, by the way.
And they have. And a few of them said, well, maybe Nolan or somebody might not like that, or because they want to do exactly. So I said, that's stupid to try to do it, put it together right, and make it last. And then they beefed it up in those areas. But that boat right in the center twisted. Boat went one way, and after it came down, it smashed. And it shows that we have pictures of it up on shore, and it was taken by one of the papers. And but when it went over, then we came in with our yacht in there and pulled up, and Chip was in the water, and he was still attached. His line was still attached to the boat, and the boat was going down. And I said, somebody get me a knife out of the back, get up in the kitchen area and get me a knife. And so we brought it down, and some guy was a press guy that happened to be aboard, and from a paper. And I said, give me the knife. He had the knife. He says, I'll throw it to Chip. He threw it to Chip. Of course, Chip missed it. And he was starting to, I don't want to say panic, that's my opinion compared to, because Chip's good. Mm-hmm. And I just looked and said, Chip, start to think how you got it on. So just think. And he's leaning back, and he goes, oh, and he started unbuckling, and he let it go. And he was able to get out. Otherwise, they'd have gone down with the boat.
Wow.
I get a few tough calls from drivers from one boat to another.
I can imagine what it'd be like to be on your yacht or boat, whatnot, looking out and seeing that unfold in front of you like that.
I remember the first time that Chip brought down the U-95 or the U-64 when it was. I just bought it from Kalen, and we were testing it, and he was just first learning to drive in it. And he came down. He said, we were there, and we were shooting it, and he came down, and he was headed right down, and then he started to turn in front of the boat, but it wasn't turning, and I'm looking, my eyes got wider and wider, and then he pulled out and he went roaring around the back, the front side of the boat. But yeah, it gets a little, things get a little testy sometimes when you just think, oh. And when I see boats flip or see other boats out there, they get real high. And I mean, as an owner, before the cab overs, there's some exciting days that get your blood pressure up real fast, real quick.